so that once a baby is born, you get a number at that level. Your identity starts there. And by the time you hit 18 years, automatically you get your ID. And most of them don't have these multiple documents where you are carrying your ID, you are carrying your passport, you are carrying, so that in a way you have a system which automatically will be able to say, you are now 18, you need to be registered to be a voter in a country. And I remember we attempted, you remember the issue of the agro-leasing was actually an attempt to that. Then we came at, I think just about 2 years ago, we attempted again, it didn't work. This issue of the Huduma number is all an attempt to that. And then the problem is, we never get it right. And to me, from where I sit, I think the reason we don't get it right is because of vested interests in these things. That some of these systems are very expensive to have them installed. And when you install them, they'll be able to streamline a lot of other issues. This issue of rigging, these issues of people trying to cut shortcuts in terms of registration, this issue of bringing people from outside Kenya to come and register will never happen once you have a well-structured system, because it's either you are born in Kenya where you get your registration at birth, and then you remain a Kenyan all through, and you don't have to apply for anything else. You will just be, when the time comes for voting, you'll be able to vote. But let's come to the cost of the elections. You know, in the Mulu, we've been to many countries, and my colleagues have also, I'm sure they have had a chance to travel. In developed countries, anytime you go and you hear there are elections, you don't see the kind of excitement we have in this country. You find polling booths are all over the place in the streets. You just walk in and vote. And I think what these other countries have done, they have taken advantage of the technology, which we seem to be saying we are taking advantage. But I agree with Madenk. I don't see why after 10 years, you invest in a system which costs you over 20 billion shillings, and after 10 years, you want to change that system again. Technology has come where you can upgrade systems. You have this system, you can upgrade to the next system. And that's what is even happening in the area of the mobile phones. You see, if you look at the phones you used to use 20 years ago, and the current phones where you have screen touch and all that, these are all the things which have been improved over time. Can we have because I think what we need to do, and I think I tweeted on my X account, I said this, we need to unpack this 61 billion to know what is the cost of a Kenyan going to vote into a polling, so that when I leave home to go and vote, what is the cost? And based on that cost, we are saying we'll be registering about 25 million Kenyans. Then we can multiply that cost with 25 million, and you see whether we arrive at 61 billion. By all standards, this is very, very expensive. 61 billion just to conduct elections. To me, I think really we are not getting it right. And as a country, it's time we sat down and said, if it is policy framework, can we have it in place? If it is legal framework, the legislators are here, that we get these things amended, come to the House. This is one of the things you can fast track. As we fast track Raila's personal interest to be accommodated, we can fast track this, which is a national interest. And it will help this country.
Okay. What's your assessment of this,
Okay, thanks, Fred. Allow me to take a different trajectory from my colleagues. First, may I agree that elections in Kenya are very expensive. And the single most, because I've been in Public Accounts Committee, the single most expensive component of our election is actually not the devices and things like that. It is the legal monument, the legal, can I say, it's like a monument, because as IEBC is sitting now, we have a pending bill for legal and these lawyers. These lawyers, they have a way of charging, even representing against, they can charge 1 billion. We have a whole 18 billion.